Hey, 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 here's Captain K. Ahoy, landlubbers, and welcome to Hyperspace. Here's Captain Concept, and it looks like I crapped my pants. No, just kidding, I'm standing on an oil patch. We're still stranded on this darn planet, but we're working on getting away. In order to do so, we got this SpaceX progress that requires a lot of additional research, and that research does not only need science, but also a lot of other stuff that needs modules and low density structures and those do I find a recipe that has one? Yeah, processing units. So for that we not only need a lot of resources where we set up the mega smelter in the last episode, we also need a lot of oil. As you can hear from my voice, I'm still a bit sick, but I'm getting better every day. So let's not mind about that any further. Let's focus on the important tasks at hand, and that is the oil processing. So I was trying around a few setups. I'm drafting here how to pack things as dense as possible. So this is one idea, that here I have a column of refineries. Then here this is going to be sort of an oil bus. And we have the cracking of heavy oil to light oil. And we need, I think there is a ratio 5 refineries to 1 cracking to 7 cracking of light oil to petroleum gas. That's why I arrange them in this manner. So like this we can fit in more on the same footprint, like twice as many as here. But I might have to build this still a notch denser. This is one possible setup. Another possibility would be to, let's build that. Let me get through here, down here. So instead of building it like this, I could also try something like that. Not like that. I need one more space like this. Yeah. Let's see. So something like that should work. And maybe I need a space here. Maybe I can work with underground belts. So here's a nifty trick. If you would place 2 pipes here, they would connect. And of course we don't want that. But if you place an underground pipe here, ta-da, we can have them as close next to each other as we want them. So with this setup, I would then have to, let's see, shift those 1 over, because of course the water and oil input is reversed. So it's going to be more like this, I assume. Let's see. I'm going to use the advanced oil processing, of course. There we go. So this is water, and in here we're gonna have oil. Then we would have to connect this up in a manner as like something like this, I assume, and the water we would then connect here. There we go. This setup is tileable as well. I think it's a lot more dense than this. And now let's see, can we, because they have quite a long reach, can we route that to the other side? So this then would have to go like this, I assume. And does it connect? No, it doesn't. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit too short. So with this design, I would then have to build something with 2 oil buses that then come together. I think I'm gonna use this setup because, it's really simple. I have this one squeezed in that one. I can route that refinery. I can route the pipes like this, connect this neatly up to this main bus, and it's tileable, and space is not an issue. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go for that design. Also, one little detail, I decided to try something like that. I mean, you know, there's an issue with pumps. I'm still not sure whether or not to use them because they have a low capacity, low throughput. They're not the best thing to use, and in most situations you don't really need them because, let's face it, we have the pressure of the refineries here and the pressure of the plants. They all push the oil into the pipes, and there is always enough pressure in this system to fill those tanks, and then from those tanks, you know, the same to up here. So why would you really need pumps? There's very few situations where you need to prevent backflow. But I thought, you know, they have a low throughput, but if I make this row of tanks longer, and for every tank I have a pump, you know, so there will be one here, one here, one here, one here. Maybe that's enough. I think 5 pumps can drain one full pipe, so maybe that'll help. So as soon as I have more than 5 pumps here, it should work, and the longer I make it, the better things should get, but it's unconfirmed. I maybe will have to do some testing. And should I not need it, I can always, you know, just hook it up directly with a few pipes here that, you know, they hurt no one. Or I could even shift all of this a notch down. So, you know, either way, I decided to try this setup and see what happens. Over here at the end, so like this is all the space that we have. Also with the spacing, should I need it, I can add another row of tanks in here and here, I guess. So over here we're gonna have a little bit of lubricant. We're gonna need the lubricant for, where is it? You know, we need to build those assembly robots, they need construction robots, robot frames need electric engines, and they need lubricant. Then up here I'm gonna try to set something up. You know, it's most efficient to use the light oil to produce the solid fuel for the bit of rocket fuel that we need. But I want to build a circuit network where this one is draining all of the overflow, because as soon as one row of those tanks is full, should that ever happen, the whole system, the refineries would shut down, and I would have to rely on the chemical plant to crack the oil. And with this, I want to set it up so that the tanks that are the fullest, except for the petroleum gas maybe, will kick in and produce the solid fuel so that the whole thing keeps going at the most efficiency. Then we're gonna need a bit of sulfur for sulfuric acid for batteries, but you know, we don't need much of that either, I guess. We're gonna need a few batteries, but not that many. So that's just like a reminder. And then of course plastic, and the plastic we're gonna feed with this coal patch here. There is gonna be another coal patch down here. So we're gonna route this over there somehow. This is the starter oil field, so the oil tanks will be somewhere in this area. And here in that corner I'm fiddling around with a possible unloading station. So here I want to have the oil train, and with this little area left I can squeeze in a stop for small, right now, 1 wagon coal trains. I don't know how much coal we're gonna need at full capacity of that facility. And I can always expand all of that, but for now I could squeeze in at least 2 more coal trains here with a little waiting area. Yeah, this would be the waiting area for the oil. Maybe I'm gonna, I don't know, rebuild this as a train stacker. I think I can stack 2 3 wagon trains in here and then route this back down here for the oil unloading. So I'm not sure about this. I'll have to experiment a bit. And yeah, I think I showed everything. That's what I'm currently working on. So let's fire up the time machine, jump ahead, or use the magic of editing and see what I come up with. And hello again. Day has passed. My body is feeling better, my voice is getting better. I think you're gonna hear a difference. And I've finished this station. I'm quite happy how things turned out with a little flaw, but if you haven't discovered it yet, I'm gonna tell you in a minute. First, this is my attempt on a diagonal station. Well, it's not truly diagonal. Down here I have like a curve unloading, and the interesting thing is all of these inserters can reach the wagon, and by placing them like this, that one places the atoms on the right side of the belt, this one on the left. So this is a fully compressed belt, and the same I could achieve here with this. It's only 4 inserters compared to those 6 inserters here for that wagon, but it works. So this gave me an idea or an inspiration to maybe at some point attempt to unload a wagon diagonally like this. So let's have a look. If I place the inserters here, I think this one can't reach it, but this one can, or maybe it can. It's, you know, it's a little difficult, but maybe you could do something like that. And then depending on where the station is, they can reach every part of the wagon. So I'll have to play a bit with this, something like that. Let's give this a try very quick. Let's see, something like that. Grab some power and fill this with something. Yeah, so see, these two could reach the wagon, this one here couldn't, but maybe I can here do the same thing that I did over there with, you know, looping this around. Anyhow, that's a nice idea that I'm gonna try out at some point. Maybe I will do all of this station diagonally, because I'm gonna redo all of this anyway. Here, this is the, well, you know, at least I managed to get 3 unloading stations in here and 2 coal unloading stations here for a 2 wagon train. This is for a 3 wagon train, and that's where the problem lies. So the unloading here is like this. They compress this blue belt. This one compresses this side, not as nicely as the left side, but it works for the right side. Then all of this gets combined and transferred to the front, like this. So all of this 3 times with this small footprint on the left side that let me squeeze in another belt contraption like this. And then up here, because as you will notice, there is no chests present. This is just to get things as quickly as possible out of the wagon. Then it goes up here, and here it would go into a small chest buffer, and from here it would then go over to the oil unbarreling. And now you see the problem, I guess. This one grabs the full barrels, unloads them, and then we end up with empty barrels. And now what shall we do with the empty barrels? Where do the empty barrels go in this station? I at some point thought about creating a dedicated barrel refill train that you know, goes from station to station to deliver barrels. That might be an idea actually, and then I would have a very high throughput, so I could leave it like that. But if you look at my other, let's see, blueprints here, unfortunately it's dark right now. I think you can see it. Where is my oil, the old oil unloader? Oh no, this is the filling one. Well, it doesn't matter. This one would grab the empty barrels out of the train, fill them, and then deliver the filled one into the train. And I really like that system. Same here with the unbarreling. Grab the full barrels, empty them, and then put the empty barrels back into the train. So it was a nice challenge trying to squeeze all of this in here, and I managed to do so. I'm definitely gonna keep the blueprint of this diagonal station. but I think I'm gonna redo all of this and see with what better solution I can come up with. I mean, you know, I spent some time on this, but also that's part of the fun with Factorio. Doing iterations, learning from mistakes, and trying to come up with a better solution. Now over here, I also had a few thoughts on the oil system. First of all, I wanted to incorporate some beacons, so a row of beacons for all the machinery here. And that means I rearranged this. It's a bit less dense, but with the beacons, the additional speed should, you know, make up for that. And also I placed a little space here that allows me to walk through should I ever need to. You know, it really sucks if you have to walk around everything. And also it distributes the spacing a bit better, so all the beacons have a repetitive pattern, while here, you know, you can't walk through. So I'm most likely gonna go with this footprint for that. And up here I've also spaced these out a bit more and redid the piping so that in between I can place a row of beacons and they nicely overlap. And also here I have some space to walk through should I ever need to. So this is most likely gonna be the cracking from light to petroleum gas, and for the heavy to light, I'm not sure if I need beacons here, but should I need to, because of the space I can easily place down beacons here in between. Yes, that would prevent me from running through, but also I guess they won't need many, so this one beacon will affect both, and should I need more, I will most likely go for something like this maybe. So you see, there is possibilities. I can even place a row of beacons just down there with the space that's available. So I really don't worry about this. So yeah, that's the progress so far. So let me rework this station. Let's see if I can come up with something better that has the empty and full barrels on the same train, because I really like that idea. Or maybe I'll just redo one of these stations into a filling station and have 2 unloading and 1 reloading station for the empty barrels, something like that. Yeah, let's see what I come up with. And here's what I've come up with. So I've redid all of this station. I removed this forest here and expanded a bit more to the right. That gave me the space that I needed. I could place down 3 unloading and loading stations, so when the train arrives, we got the first 2 wagons filled with full barrels that get rapidly unloaded here, and then moved over there to the unbarreling of the oil. The empty barrels then loop around and come back to that same station, so every station should keep the same amount of barrels. And then here at the bottom we got a smart loader that evenly distributes the empty barrels, so when a new train arrives, he'll fill it as quickly as it's unloading. So the idea is that the train always has 2 full wagons of filled barrels and a full wagon of empty barrels, and like that I want to achieve a maximum throughput. I got 3 stations. That should definitely be enough. Probably 1 station would have been enough. Maybe it's overkill, maybe not, we'll find out. And down here we got the train stacker for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 oil trains. This one here is sort of a stacker for both, and I will have to see how the trains behave. Like if all trains wait here, they would block the stacker for the coal, so then I would have to remove that or do something with the circuit network to transform this into a smart stacker where the trains will stack from the bottom. But these 2 are reserved for the coal unloading, and this is this station here, that's the coal station. a 2-wagon train of coal that gets unloaded here, and that coal here gets routed over there. This patch will eventually be gone, and then I'll hook up the train, I guess, and this coal goes over there where we need it for plastic. So let's give this station a quick test. Oh, and this one here, this is my private train station. So I built, or I'm going to build, a few private stations marked with P that allow me to quickly travel from location to location. Like I'm gonna have one here at the oil setup, one here at the mega smelter, one here at the base, the starter base that I need to, you know, recollect some resources so that I can get around quickly, because it gets quite vast. So let's give this a try now. For that I'm gonna unhook this, I guess, and try to load up these chests. 10 here, 10 here, here and here, and oh, I don't know, maybe 5 here. Oh, they already unloaded. Oh well, doesn't matter. And let's hook it up to power again. Where was it? Here. There we go. So it rapidly unloads, almost fully compresses the belt. And the unloading is, well, almost quick enough to empty all of these barrels almost instantly. I can double this up should I need more throughput, and here go the empty barrels. So yeah, this probably I will start with 1 station and see how long it takes for it to be maxed out. Maybe I'll start with all 3. Well, we're gonna see how much throughput we're gonna need. The oil then goes into these tanks in this oil buffer. This one is expandable as well. And from here it goes down to the oil processing, the advanced oil processing. So I think that's it for this episode. The stations are done. The refining is done. It can be expanded, needs to be set up in detail. In the next episode, we're gonna do all the details back here. So where we set up the lubricant, the smart cracking of over here, smart cracking of the oil, and the smart overflow management, where we're going to convert that into solid fuel, and of course the plastic production. So that's still ahead. And then shortly after that, as soon as we have the oil resources and the iron resources, maybe off camera I'm going to set up a few loading stations, but then we're going to focus on the circuitry and the modules and all of that stuff, and we're most likely going to build that in this area up here. So stay tuned for next time. If you're one of those people that like to hit buttons, then click the subscribe button so that you're never gonna miss an episode. If you like this episode, let me know by smacking the like button. It helps me out tremendously. And whatever you do, make sure that you always got a hands with of water under your keel. Arr!